subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Let's get Nathaniel. Nathaniel, what's happening? Unmute your microphone, Nathaniel.
Hello, brother Tariq. How are you?
I'm good, Nathaniel. What's going on with you?
I'm doing great. Your monologues these last couple of weeks have been great, phenomenal.
Thank you.
But I did want to push back on you. Oops, sorry. What
I
was
said
that?
thank you, but go ahead. You want to push back and speak up a little louder. You're a little low.
Is it better now?
We'll work with it, but go ahead.
A couple of days ago, you had one of these monologues concerning the FBA who was shot by these YNs in Texas and his daughter, unfortunately. And why is it that even with this story that you're talking about today, whenever a tether or even a white person comes up on here, you say things like the mafia, for example, or school shootings are endemic to their culture. You say things like, with the story that you're talking about today, you say things like them running up on FBAs and attacking them are endemic to their
Hmm.
culture. Whenever someone brings up FBA culture, right, with the rappers getting shot, Trouble, who else? Offset or not Offset, Takeoff,
Hmm.
XXX, Pop Smoke, right? The list goes on. You say that these are
Yeah.
individuals, right? You individualize them,
Hmm.
just as you're you're not doing right now with the guy who unfortunately got shot in the McDonald's. Why is that officer not an individual?
No, because he's working for a system. In fact, working for a security company who hired him for that purpose. That's a systematic thing. That's a systematic thing. You see how that works? This guy was hired specifically so that he could target black folks, and he took it to the next level. See, when some dusty Negro runs up and shoots somebody at a car wash, none of us, we ain't got nothing to do with him. None of us. Not even the streets. The streets ain't got nothing to do with a dude like that because you messed the money up in the streets. A real hustler who's getting money, that's a bad look. Because when they shot that poor baby, boy, it was cops all over the place. They were turning the city over looking for them fools. And you know what happens? You shut down the trap. You shut down the gambling spot. You shut down the hostro. Everybody's money is frozen for the next couple of weeks. Also, you got people in jail playing let's make a deal, telling and running their damn mouths, making the block even hotter because police are looking for suspects. So now everybody's raising their hand trying to get a lighter deal. So now that just puts a monkey wrench in the whole game. So that's not a systematic thing. When some dumbass YN runs out here and harms a kid and just shoots somebody, that's an individual act. This dude, who was that security guard, remember, this guy was hired to protect the public and protect that venue. And he's up here doing this old Hotel Rwanda ass bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. That's something different.
But how is he not an individual when tethers, as you call them, how often do they do something like this? Do they just go at a McDonald's and shoot at a FBA or we don't know if the guy's FBA, but that's not very common, is it?
Well, no, we don't allow them to do shit like that. We kind of check them on that, but they do that in their homeland all the time. They do that back in their homeland. That tribalistic bullshit. They do it a lot. That's why they have to flee. And I mean, that your homeland. I always your homeland too. So yeah, y'all have to flee for a
Tariq,
reason. You-
open your eyes. Come on. It's been FBAs all along. The people behind all of your sufferings, it's always been your people. Just open
That's
your
a lot.
eyes. Look at the fighting in the
That's a
schools.
lot.
Look at,
That's you projecting, sir. That's you projecting.
I don't want to get personal,
Right,
but
right.
I mean, your nephew, he was shot by an FBA.
Well, I don't know what the dude's lineage was, but he was a dusty Negro, and that was an individual thing. That was a dusty individual.
See,
And just like and
why do
just
you
like and just
individualize
like
it when
and sir,
FBA?
just like your village, all of the slaughtering and killing in your village, you had to flee. At least my nephew and I didn't have to flee. It didn't get that bad. But yeah, you had to flee. It got so bad. You had to come over here to North America because you couldn't cut it in your homeland because of the violence. That's the thing that really got you. And You guys are the face of the political sphere there. So that's what makes it systematic to a certain degree, sir. That's why you had to,
If you look at a chart of the top 50 most violent cities in America, there's 7 of them that are from the United States of America, and all 7 of those are mostly FBA,
but
like
if you look at
Jackson.
some of the countries that are the most violent, with the most rape, with the most female circumcision that's forced, with the most poverty, hunger, that's your homeland, sir. That's why you had to flee, right? That's why you're over here.
But Tariq, you fled too. You live in a white neighborhood,
No, I
Tariq.
don't. How am I in a white neighborhood and I'm black? Hmm?
Tariq,
How am I in a white
we know where you live, Tariq.
how,
You live in a
how am I in a white neighborhood and I'm black? One of my neighbors is in here now. Joel lives down the street from me. He's black. So
Yeah, that's one
there's
person
not
out of
a person.
200.
And Chris Brown's mom had a house next door to mine. So yeah. Um um Exhibit lives around the corner from me. So I don't live in a white neighborhood. There's black people all in my neighborhood. I live in a pretty wealthy neighborhood, but it ain't, you tell this thing, anything wealth is white. That's why you got a white man's picture in your profile, sir. You're pretending to be a white man. See,
So what's the racial demographic?
anything successful you equate with white. That's the tether mindset. That's why that's that colonized mindset, sir. But it's okay.
So what's the racial demographic of your
It's
neighborhood? Could you tell the
the same
audience?
as Los Angeles. The same as Los Angeles.
And what's
It's
that?
like what? It's about 10%. Los Angeles is about 10% black. It's a very small.
Exactly. So you live in a majority Hispanic white
But no, the
neighborhood. You
whole
fled
city
from
is
your
majority white and Hispanic, the whole city. So you're not saying anything.
No, you could live in South
Sir,
Central.
I have a business in South
South
Central, and do you know all the Mexicans who are in South Central now and Compton? Compton is very
But it's way more than 10%.
Compton is very Mexican now. Most black people are living out in Palmdale, Lancaster, the Inland Empire, places like that. A lot of black people have been pushed way out of the mid city, sir. But yeah, this is my city. All of it is my city, sir. There's no white area. All of it is mine. This city was founded by black people. This is my city. My taxes go all over here. So that's the great thing about being a foundational black American. We don't have to live in little shanty towns and villages like in your homeland when the white people are living high on the hog. See, you're projecting your failed village mindset onto us. Just like in South Africa, your homeland, white people have running water, heating, plumbing, electricity, everything works smooth. In the white area, in your little village, y'all got flies, fans, and camel milk. And you think that that's normal. No, no, no. We live all over the place over here, sir. That's the great.
Look, I'm not gonna cape for those foreigners, but at least they own the utilities. You guys don't own anything. You don't own the
No,
sewage plants, you don't own the water plants, you don't own the
so
electricity
you're
plants.
trying to claim ownership of streams and rivers that you shit and bathe in your homeland. That's your plumbing system, sir.
But if you look at a billionaire list, right, at least
Oh,
their billionaires aren't
don't
in
don't
entertainment. All your billionaires are
don't
entertainment.
tell me about no billionaires. I don't want to hear about no billionaires over there in your homeland because you have none. Because y'all don't have anything popping over there, sir. Your billionaires couldn't even help y'all get your shanty towns together, sir. I don't want to hear about that. That's why you left. You're over here, sir. Come on,
Look at a black billionaire list. None of them are FBA who are not
sir.
in entertainment.
Sir, most of us in this room,
All the FBA,
most of us,
all
most
the
of
FBA billionaires are
we don't even
rappers.
have
They're
most
athletes.
of the people in this space right now have more money than everybody in your country that you fled from, sir. We don't even have to be billionaires. Some of the people in here got regular 9 to 5s and they are doing better than the majority of
And
the
they work for Europeans. They
and
work for Europe.
majority, not everybody, and the majority of the country that you fled from, sir. You understand? Yeah, you project a lot of your failure, Nathaniel.
FBAs, if you have to go wake up at 6 a.m. to go work for a European, raise your hand. How
You
many FBAs have a
you
white
have to
boss that you have to
if you have to get up at 6 a.m. to go walk 40 miles to get water for your village, raise your hand, Nathaniel. Raise your hand, sir. If you have to get up at 5 in the morning to go down to the green card office to do something strange for a little piece of change, hoping that you can get a visa to get the hell up out of there, raise your hand, Nathaniel.
And UFBAs would be doing the same thing if it wasn't for the white people who brought you
No,
over.
no, sir. No, 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 no. We're fine. We've always been fine. We take care of ourselves. We try to
Well,
get the
clearly not if you're shooting 5-year-olds
we
in car washes.
yeah, and we don't know the background of those dudes. They might be tethers too. They might be Caribbean tethers.
They're
We don't know the back.
no, no, they're much.
Oh, no, no, no. We don't know the background of them dudes. We don't know the background. And again, those are niggas who ain't got nothing to do with the rest of black society. That wasn't sanctioned by anybody. But y'all be doing that shit, and it's normal over in your homeland. Y'all be doing all types of shit to women and kids, and that's normal in your failed homeland, sir. It's not looked
Is
down.
Adonis Robinson an
Yeah,
FBA name? Is you're
um, yeah, 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 yeah. That weird shit is normal in your homeland, Nathaniel. So you need to be
so
thanking.
how come
You need to be
look,
thanking
FBA's
Nathaniel. Why don't you say, "Hey, stop having all that jealousy and contempt and say, hey, thank you, Foundation of Black Americans, for getting me out of that dirty village with all of them flies on my stomach. Thank you, FBA. Why don't y'all just
I
be,
have
hmm?
I have no issue with FBA's role in setting up the country. You can say you built it, whatever, but we have to address this endemic violence that's happening in the FBA community.
No,
If you again, if you look at the top,
no. A lot of the violence comes from you tethers, especially up in Minnesota. A lot of the violence is coming from you tethers, sir. That's where a lot of the violence is coming from. You understand? So we got to get rid of some of the tether violence, right? Right, Nathaniel?
or can I just ask just one more thing? So, do you believe that FBAs have agency? Like, for example, I think 40% of FBA women are obese. Do you think that that's because of white people? Like, what's the issue with that? And also, the fighting in the schools, is that because white people? Like, what causes that? Is there FBA agency, or just everything is due to white
Well,
supremacy?
if they're obese, they're trying to mimic your foreheads in your East African homeland because y'all have big fat foreheads. Let me get our good sister Love I Am in here. Love I Am, would you speak to this tether, please?
I simply don't to me everything that he's saying, I don't understand how these are the conclusions that a melanated human who comes from a destabilized nation would come to. Like how would you skip over the colonization of your country that is and all of the theft that is happening in your country to get to us. And it's annoying because it's again, this is that narcissistic devaluation that happens. It's a negrophobic thought process, actually. It's
Mhm.
anti-Black American because the reality of the matter is that white people, Bill Gates literally has a depopulation agenda for the entire planet. That is, it doesn't get more violent than that. So the fact that they use Black Americans to scapegoat everything, vaccinations, they literally, all of these things that the dominant culture is able to do to, they are literally able to commit crimes against humanity. It doesn't get acknowledged, and they just skip over all of the crimes against humanity and then get to Black Americans.
Yeah,
Like, it does not make sense.
So, did
Nathaniel.
Bill Gates' measles vaccine, did that make you obese? Did that make 40% of the FBA women obese? Was
And
it the
then
measles vaccine?
GMO food, all of these things. But this degenerate vagabond wants to address Black Americans when literally Black Americans have, you can't name a harm that Black Americans have done to your people. So I just don't see how we would be the first
What?
on your list to address,
Have
but
you seen the FBI crime table?
this actually affirms that y'all are so bothered by us delineating.
hmm,
That's what's at the crux of this.
there you go. Thank you so much, beloved. Nathaniel. Nathaniel, there's jealousy there. What's with the jealousy? Because the sister made a good point. It's rooted in,
No, I'm asking you a question. Do FBAs have agency? That's a simple question.
sir, you're not at liberty to ask that. You're talking about obesity, sir. You know what's I take obesity than starving, sir. You wish you can get obese in your homeland. You're walking around bony, ribs showing, but the belly big and flies all over you. Yeah, give me
See, that's the difference.
I'll take
between FBAs and other people on the planet. We'll acknowledge our problems, but the FBAs will just blame it on everyone else.
I'm gonna know.
Don't you think that that's an important
Y'all
distinction between the two groups,
love
with
running.
FBAs and non-FBAs?
Sorry, y'all love talking about it's the government. The government. Well, you're the government, sir.
Exactly. They'll at least admit that they voted in the government. FBAs will say, "Oh, we didn't vote in that government.
That's
It's not our issue.
that's a
It's not our fault."
no. We take it. No. We just made the Democrats crash and burn, and that was a grassroots movement, sir. So we take responsibility. We don't have a choice but to. Nobody's looking out for us. Foundational Black Americans, we look out for ourselves. We're not sitting around here with plates of Red Cross rice like you and trying to find a place to flee like a coward to the point where you have to sit up here using a white man's profile picture because you're so ashamed of who you are. Don't project your shame onto us. And I think that's where a lot of your vitriol comes from. You stay in our spaces, Nathaniel, whining and trolling to project the insecurities you have about fleeing your failed homeland and sitting up here pretending to be a white man. That's
You need to explain these crime rates and these obesity rates and these
long.
5-year-olds that are getting shot in car
I,
washes.
I can deal with
You
that.
need to explain
That
this.
that's called life. It's okay, long as I'm not living in a shanty.
No, we don't have to live like
Long
this. You
as
don't have to live in a world where 5-year-olds get shot in car.
no, long as I'm not living in a shanty town, wiping my ass with giraffe ears. All right, long as I'm not doing that. Let me get my brother Afro Elite in the building. Brother Afro Elite, hop on in, sir. I can hear you, my good brother. How are you?
First off, before I address what Nathaniel said, I want to say this. Okay, I ordered 2 sticks of your root work deodorant.
Yes.
All right, that stuff is high class, top tier. Okay, top tier. I got the cocoa butter and I got the what's this, citrus charm? I think it was.
Yes.
Y'all got to get that stuff.
Yes.
Wonderful, absolutely top class, best.
You need to get the Lucky Lavender as well. That one's good.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, maybe next time. To address what Nathaniel said, I think that this goes to culture. What our brother Tariq is essentially trying to say is that as much there is violence, let's be honest, there's violence in every other community. The thing is that we don't have a culture of accepting this stuff. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, all my life, I've seen Black people have a stop the violence march and put the guns down march and community meetings so we can calm down gang violence and stuff like that, because we have a culture of rejecting violence and crime and things like that. We've always rejected that. So that makes it anti our culture, because the solid majority of us reject violent crimes or crimes of any sort. That's unlike you all's culture. You all's culture, scamming, violence against women, violence against children, that's not called out. You guys don't speak out on that stuff. Now, am I saying that all you all do it? No, but all you all don't have to, because the ones who do it, nothing gets said about that. That's not publicly shamed or criticized or chastised. There's nothing in the culture that says we need to sit down and have a conversation about how to end all this violence against children and all this violence against women and all this scamming that we're doing. Your culture doesn't do anything to stop that from happening, unlike foundational Black Americans. That's the problem. That's the difference, because you can say, well, there's violence on both sides, but the thing is, our culture always works to try to solve that. Your culture, what you do is you flee. You go to someplace else because you have a culture of not solving your problems. We are the only people really in the world, if we're going to really go there, of actually having a culture of solving our own problems. Problems, mind you, that we didn't even really put in the community, if we're going to be honest about that. But I don't want to be too long.
There you go, my man.
Because the boys in the hood are always hard. You come talking that trash, we'll pull your card. No, nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me,
That's
boy, 'cause I
that's
ain't
a
saying
song,
shit.
sir. That's a song. What does that mean?
That's your culture.
That's a song.
These are songs from your
That is a
culture.
song.
That's a song
That's a song.
written by a college student. Ice Cube was a college student when he wrote that song, and he went to
So our song's not a part of culture.
yeah, he wrote a song as a college student, and now he's one of the most prolific black independent producers out here now. So what are you saying?
So it's okay to write songs about shooting FBAs as long as you go and become a
Yeah, I
professor
would
or
rather
a
hear a
producer
song.
or whatever.
I would rather hear a song about shooting than go to your homeland and get shot, because that's what you're doing in your home.
That's not what the crime. That's
Yeah,
not what
yeah.
the crime stats
Y'all
say.
don't rap about.
Okay. Do you see how much you have to reach? You're talking about a song. So now what we can't rap about a song. We can't make
So
any
what's
type of
culture?
no, it's
So
fiction.
what's
It's
culture?
fiction. It's
What's
fiction.
culture?
It's
So
fiction.
what's
He
culture?
wasn't
What's
talking about
culture then?
something he was doing. He was making a song.
So what's FBA culture then, if not music?
FBA
And
culture is
hip-hop music?
solving our problems. FBA culture is solving our problems. Don't cherry pick music. Don't cherry pick music, because the only
This
time you
music
guys
is a
bring
part of
up
your
music
culture.
is when you bring up certain parts of hip hop. No, don't have to do that. Because then we can bring up Michael Jackson, we can bring up Whitney Houston, we can bring up beautiful music that you guys don't have anything similar to. So y'all don't want to play the music game. Y'all really, really, really don't. But to be honest with you, um, that song, to be honest, that song, that's a reach. That's a reach.
Hard.
Because that's not reflective of his character.
Yes, indeed, my man.
So he just made a song about shooting FBAs, and it's not a part of his character.
No, it's
It's not.
not.
That song isn't a part of culture.
No, it's not. It's just like a movie. It's just like telling.
You made microphone check.
Yes.
Come on.
What about him? What about it?
This is hip hop. This is rap. Is rap not FBA culture?
Yeah, when y'all wrap your mouths around the green card office man's dick in order to get a green card. So y'all rap too. And sir, you can't really point the finger. You just can't. You're too violent. Y'all are about the violence. Yeah, we'll rap about it, but you guys will be about the violence, sir. And that is a problem.
So why are 7 FBA cities in the top 50 most violent cities in the world? 7 FBA cities.
then why-
Detroit, New Orleans.
Why is your homeland so violent to the point you had to flee? Long as we're not that bad. Why are we not as bad as you?
So why aren't these cities in the top 50 most violent cities if they're so violent?
Why are we not as
Why it don't
hmm? Why are we not as bad as your homeland to the point where you had to flee? You're not at liberty to point the finger. That's what makes you look silly, sir. You can't.
whatever homeland you think I'm from, it's not in the top
And
50
that's
of
another
the
thing.
most violent
You're,
cities.
and you know what? Your homeland is so bad, you're too embarrassed to admit exactly where it's from. That's how bad it is and how embarrassed and ashamed of your homeland you are. You're too ashamed to even admit where the hell your homeland is. You ain't at liberty to point fingers at none of us. We don't want to hear your insecurities, sir. We don't want to hear it.
Tariq, I'm from America. I don't play these your tether
Now,
games that you do with everyone where you accuse everyone of being a tether, even Drake.
we
You
know
say he's a
we
tether.
know you're from East Africa. We just don't know the exact country and you won't say it, which is fine. It doesn't matter. You're ashamed of yourself. You're ashamed of your homeland. You're ashamed of your culture, and you try to project that shame onto us over here. And we're not trying to hear it. We're not going for that, sir. You got to handle your own business. Get your homeland together. You stay lurking in our circles, wagging your little goosey encrusted finger, and we're telling you, you're just not at liberty to talk about any crime over here, sir. That makes sense, sir?
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing. And I'm not gonna play the you're a tether game
Because
because
you
you,
are.
you accuse everyone of being a tether, including Drake, who has an FBA father. And other than that, I just want to tell
What
the
does that
FBAs to put the guns down.
what
FBAs, come on, there are 5-year-olds that are dying out here.
and speaking and with the 5-year-old, and that's the thing about us. I want you to understand something. The dudes who shot that baby, these guys are marked men already. When they go to jail, they're gonna have to put them in PC. These dudes are dead men walking. They got to put them in protective custody. See, that's the difference between your culture and our culture. The streets will handle those dudes if they get up out of PC somewhere. But those dudes are marked men. It ain't like over in your village. Y'all just got abandoned kids walking around and you're stomping over them. We don't roll like that. That's normalized in your culture, which is what you're trying to project on us. But we make sure the children get justice over here. That's what happened to that baby. That's universally looked down by foundational Black Americans, sir.
That's a lie. You guys can't even get George Zimmerman. You can't even get Derek Chauvin either.
Well, Derek Chauvin is in jails. What you talking about?
That's my point, is that you say, oh, FBAs are going to police in the prison. They're going to get revenge in the prison. You guys, these people are just walking around fine. George Zimmerman's fine.
Zimmerman,
The guy from Ferguson's fine.
George Zimmerman, this man has bounced all around the country. He's damn near in witness protection. Nobody knows where Zimmerman is. Some people said he's in Arizona somewhere. Some people said he's in another part of Florida. They done got this man basically in witness protection. Nobody knows where he is. Chavin, they got him in PC, and they already poked him up in jail. Somebody already poked him up. So yeah, what you talking about, sir?
That was an Hispanic. That was a
Right.
Hispanic guy.
Yeah, yeah, he's on a lot of people's hit list.
Because they don't run,
Yeah,
FBAs don't run the prison anymore, Hispanics
no.
do. But
What they
FBA,
tried to do, I guess they tried to keep him away from the blacks, and they thought that he was going to probably be safe around some of the Mexican mafia guys because they are aligned with a lot of the white supremacists in prison. So probably somebody broke bad and poked him up. So they got to really put him in deep PC somewhere. So yeah, they're keeping him away from the brothers. You better believe that. You think Derek Chauvin is around any black people in prison for real?
yes, the prisons are
Get
like
out.
60% FBA.
Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye. This idiot don't know. Yeah, you don't know the culture here, sir. You don't know the culture here. All right. Have a good night. Now you just running your damn mouth. Derek Chauvin ain't nowhere near no black people. He ain't nowhere near no black people in jail. So don't even get it twisted. Let's get my brother Great Black Shark in here. I had to get that tether out. Great Black Shark, hop on, brother. Loud and clear, brother. How are you?
I'm grand, man. I hope you and your family is well. I wish the little goofball Tether was still on the stage, but he's probably still in here, so I'll be brief and go ahead and give him the rundown. First and foremost, when he was talking about hip hop culture, for every negative song he can point out, we have decades upon decades worth of songs that balance those messages out.
Right.
Even the ones that do have negative things in there, if you look at it, it's told from a story-based perspective, telling you what happens if you choose to engage in certain type of behavior. Moreover, I have a question. Name one problem in life, anywhere in the world, that's solved by somebody running from it. His entire culture, if they're not in their homeland, that's what they've done. And it's an extremely shameful thing for the men of any group to run away from problems. And see, I'm going to say this to you, Nathaniel. You can mark my words that for every foundational Black American freedman man in here, whether we're here in our country or if we go to yours, your women will respect us more than you. I know. I've been to many countries in the continent. And moreover, while he won't say where he's from, he knows that the minute that he names where he's from, we can do research, and some of us have been there more than likely, and see how you have a culture where some of your people will sell your kids and your wives to these white folks that come over there. There's a reason why they're always on planes going to Africa, because they know, unfortunately, not all, but enough for it to be a problem. When white people go to the continent, they're worshiped like they're deities. So when he comes over here trying to wag his finger at us, I'll land with this. All that time you spend whining about our culture and what we need to do, why don't you exercise the ability to get your men together in your own spaces and discuss what you need to do to fix your homeland? Well, that's it. I'll land.
And I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. But yeah, with the music thing, even with the gangster music, hell, even with the gangster music and Boys in the Hood and the Straight Outta Compton, even with that, there was balance with the Straight Outta Compton record. Some of the songs, there were consequences, even in the song. when Ice Cube wrote the song, he talked about a bunch of gangster stuff. But then at the end of the song, like Gangsta Gangsta, he was doing all this gangster stuff. And then at the end of the song, he's like, now I'm dressed in the county blues. But he goes to jail at the end of the song. You know? Even in Dope Man, when they're talking about selling dope and all that, you're talking about you get smoked and yeah, you get killed. You know? So there were consequences in these songs. You see? And also they balanced it out by having a revolutionary song on the Straight Outta Compton album, F the Police. That was the rallying cry during the LA riots. That was a revolutionary song. So there was a balance. You understand? Since you wanted to make that example, we still had that balance there. It was a very revolutionary song. That's a revolutionary rallying cry to this day. So they knew what they were doing. When things get popping, it's like F the police. That's been a rallying cry for the last 30 something years. That's revolutionary. That's called balance. See, we knew how to balance certain messages, just like with Public Enemy. Public Enemy knew how to market and balance the images. They came out as basically the hip hop version of the Black Panthers. Public Enemy. Their logo was a black man with a rifle snipe over him, target on him. They're talking about fear of a black planet, just real deep, hardcore revolutionary tropes and black empowerment tropes. So they knew white audiences would be afraid of that. So what they do, they had to balance it out. They had to get a court gesture, which was Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav was put there specifically to balance out the message. That's why they were so successful, because they understood white people like a Flavor Flav. They like the image of Flavor Flav. So Flavor Flav was going to be the Trojan horse to get them in the door, and then they'll bash you on the head with the message once you let them in through Flav. So they were very smart. We knew how to be very strategic with the way we put our stuff out. And Cube and Easy and those guys, they knew what they were doing. They were like, a lot of folks want to hear this gangster stuff. Let's do that, but then let's put a message in here. Let's put some real talk in here, and that's what they did. So they were very smart in what they did. So they're not rapping about bushmeat, all right, and shanty towns. That's what they're not doing, all right. All right, now let me get some more folks in here. I saw a Pia in here. I do not want to hear from a Pia. We heard all of your tether babble last night. There's only so much of that babbling we can take. Good Lord, it's only so much. Boy, that tether babble is irritating. You just getting debunked left and right. Let me get my Bay Area player, Brother Twizzle, in the building. Brother Twiz, what's up, fam?
What's up, man? When you give a mic, boy, you better be ready with that button, boy, because that shit switch over fast. But I came over for Neanderthal. I mean, Nathan. They always try to talk about our rap music and everything, but what you were saying about NWA, remember they had that song "Express Yourself" on
Yeah,
there. You know what I'm saying? With Dr. Dre was like, "Express yourself to your full capabilities." Too Short, he had the ghetto, but he was telling everybody on how it was, and either way it go, we still made the best out of it. And this is another thing that these tellers can't understand. They don't have no relation to our rap music. They just listen to it and think it sound good, but yet they don't have no understanding of it. Cause T, you know, in our time, rap music was about being real. Easy E and all them, they was talking about being real and teaching brothers, young brothers like me from the streets on how to be solid. But I just want to say this to the Neanderthal and I'm out. We don't have no hell fests and we don't have no rock music where people line up by the thousands and just as soon as they say go, they all charging to each other like a big ass wall. You know what I'm saying? They talk about, well, rap music, people get killed in here. People get killed. Well, you don't see how many people get carried out of those death walls when them crazy ass white boys charge at each other, full blast, just crashing, swinging, and kicking. You know what I'm saying, Nathan? I mean, Neanderthal. All right, T, that's all I want to say, pimp. Have a good
my
one.
man, I appreciate that. But yeah, we the rap community, especially in the 80s, when we're talking about the NAA joints, NWA. Listen, in the 80s, man, the rap community, they self-police to a certain degree. In the 80s, the rap community took it upon themselves to talk down upon crack cocaine. It's different now because now the music execs, they encourage the rappers to rap about drugs and mollies and ecstasy. They encourage them to rap about taking all of these weird drugs now. In the 80s, the rap community, they self-policed and they made a concerted effort to talk down about crack. That's why to this day, crack is looked at as a dirty drug. It's not cool. You can't say, man, I was at the club, I was smoking some crack. I got me a big old Cadillac. That it don't sound fly. The minute you start talking about you smoke some crack, everybody gets away from you. That's because of the rap community. The rap community single-handedly made crack not cool. You understand? They made crack extremely uncool. There were songs about, not being no crackhead. There was just all around the country. It was a group called the Dogs, I think. It was a dude named Disco Rick down in Miami. They had a song called "Your Mama's on Crack Rock." Y'all remember that? Where my Miami people? That was like a little southern hit. It was a song called "Your Mama's on Crack Rock." So people were hard on crackheads at that time. Any crack use that was highly looked down upon. Let me get my brother McCall in here real quick. Brother McCall, hop on in here. But yeah, self-destruction. We had songs like that, speaking about violence, speaking about gang violence. They had "We All in the Same Gang." Yeah, so that was a lot of self-policing going on with the hip-hop community. Brother McCall, hop on, sir.
Great Minister of Code, how art
Oh,
thou?
good, brother. How are you?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Living the dream and winning.
Yes.
Dear brother, I'm going to name 3 songs, and if you can give me the context of the song, I'd really appreciate it, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Young, Gifted, and Black, Nina Simone, Donny Hathaway. What's the context of that song?
Being a young foundational Black American who is very gifted in spite of what the dominant society tries to say about him.
Beautiful. Donny Hathaway, Someday We'll All Be Free.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and he was speaking about, yes, we're going to get this oppressor off our back someday.
Awesome. Lastly, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Shining Star.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. They spoke so much positivity. It was like, you are a shining star. You have potential. You are great. Everything about Earth, Wind, and Fire was about our Black greatness. Everything. So yeah.
Beautiful. And you are great, dear brother, and so are you. Beautiful Black family. Thank you, dear brother.
Much
I'll land.
indeed. Yeah, man. No tether can hit us up talking about our music genres. How dare you? Man, we got some of the most prolific, beautiful music artists in the world. Y'all ain't got y'all version of Frankie Beverly. Frankie Beverly's his whole catalog was musical Majara. Frankie Beverly embodied what the Majara spirit is. All of his songs just spoke so much Black excellence and foundational Black American positivity, happy feelings, joy and pain. We are one. Before I let go. Come on, man. Ain't nobody talk about our damn genres at all. Man, while he's sitting over there using a chicken bone to beat on a Congo, doing clicks and pops. How dare you talk about our music genre? Lord, how dare you? And you know what kills me? I really despise people who try to denigrate our culture when they come from such violence. Let me get Brother Rob in here. Brother Robbie, hop on in here, Robbie. Brother Rob. What's going on, Rob? I'm good. How
Can you hear me pretty good?
sir?
Uh, I can't believe this cat brought up Ice Cube, and you think about Ice Cube's first 4 solo albums, it was packed with a bunch of conscious content.
Well,
And not only that, Ice Cube proved to not only be a prolific writer, but to go on and do screenplay. He has his son that's a phenomenal actor. He has his own basketball league. So anytime we do something that the family gets behind and that is real, because this is the thing, we can talk about all facets of American culture. We can criticize the government. We can be self-reflective on the things that we need to improve in the community, but also we call it like we see it, and that's always been a source of strength. And it's amazing. The reason why these people are mad about the delineation is they could tether onto the strength of Black people. They're no different than the Democrats, which is why they support the Democrats. They want us to be the vanguard to protect everything, not only that is right in the world in terms of humanitarianism, but what it means to be Black. So now that we're making things exclusive for us, everybody has to stand on their own. And like they say, a house built on sand won't stand. So that's why all he has to do, like you say, is click and pop, and he can beatbox on them nuts, I guess, at the immigration office. And I'll land my plane.
man, it's just so funny that people come over from these third worlds, and we don't be trying to beat up on you, but we gotta point out the irony. When Africans and Caribbeans too, because y'all be coming from Jamaica and Haiti and and want to talk crap, talking to us about crime and deadly cities. Dude, y'all come from places where the leader of your country is nicknamed Barbecue. How which your leader name, his nickname is Barbecue. You got leaders with name like Barbecue, and you're pointing the finger to us. And you know your leaders got them names from barbecuing niggas. Yeah. They be cooking people alive. Yeah, you're not. No, ain't nobody with a leader named Barbecue gonna come tell me shit about no violence at all. I'm sorry. You know, no, you're not at liberty to say nothing to us about nothing. If those are your leader is Barbecue, I'm sorry, you can't say nothing to me about nothing. I'm sorry. Sit your ass down somewhere, please. Just please sit down. Good freaking grief. Yeah, y'all got barbecues all over these countries. Lord, General Butt Naked over there in was it Liberia? Remember him? That General Butt Naked. Look him up. That's a real dude. Look up General Butt Naked. Because he used to run around with his clothes off killing people. I'm not bullshit. Google General Butt Naked. I think he was in Liberia. It was either Liberia or Sierra Leone, one of them places. Come on. These are the leaders, butt naked and barbecue. Oh, yeah. And y'all telling us about culture? Really? Good freaking grief. Man, please. This is no, Nathaniel. Sit your ass down. Just sit down. Yeah, just sit down. It's just don't say nothing at all.
We don't know the beginnings of rap because as long as our music has been recording, people have been rapping.
The disco DJs separated themselves from us. We were the next generation coming up with this thing, and they were like, what's this little hippity hop thing?
The first time I heard somebody spit a 16 over a break beat was probably Melly Mel.
The Melly Mel sound that you hear today, I got that sound from Hollywood.
I was doing this same form of entertainment long before it had a name.
A lot of the gangs were fading out by the time hip-hop came in. A lot of those gangs turned into crews.
As far as influencing hip-hop, I saw no Puerto Rican or Jamaican influences whatsoever.
I started breakdancing in the 70s.
When rap and hip hop was all Black, it was negative. Now that it became a big phenomenon and corporately acceptable, now there's this need to take foundational Black Americans out of the creation of it and give it away to other people. And it's important for us to set the record straight.